let's just say I took all the data. If I took all the data from all of the clients that I have right now, I'm up to 1,171 clients in 47 countries, no, 48 countries. We will hit 1,200. We will hit 1,200 clients by the end of 2025. That's remarkable. Y'all, you got to remember, I had 21 clients just 4 years ago. 21 clients doing this work part-time and completely stepped out on faith. Right? And so if I had to rank all of the issues that I deal with people on as it relates to this work, top 5 easily is people pleasing. Easily. If I had this to rank this, say, out of 10 clients, like the top 10 issues, at least 4 to 5 of those clients have problems with people pleasing. That's roughly 1 out of 2, which means if we just do the math with everybody on this live, I'm going to go as far as to say at least 1 out of 2 of you have challenges with people pleasing. And let's see how many of you are going to operate in self-awareness or honesty. What's honest or self-awareness, Doc? Honesty about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. If you have challenges with people pleasing, and I can look at the math right now, we are just around 350 viewers. That's real low. We're normally in the 800-900 range. Let's get this number up. If you have challenges with people pleasing, I want you to type a 1 in the comment area quickly. Thank you. Thank you, AC. If you've ever had challenges with people pleasing, or you got challenges right now, put a 1 in the comments. 1 should be flying. Some of y'all lying. And see, you ain't gonna heal if you ain't self-aware. That ain't real. At least 1 out of, I would say 3 just to be generous. 1 out of 3 people, if I were to look at my data, in my database with my clients, struggle with people pleasing. So we're going to deal with this, but we're going to deal with it in a different way. Now, let me give you this. Definitions. You guys know I do custom definitions here. Let me give you a custom definition, and I want to give you a custom definition of a people pleaser. This is how Doc defines people pleasing. I don't look on the dictionary. I don't look in journals with professional, I've got books, obviously, with professional definitions of all of these psychological terms. I give definitions in a way that you can understand it. It's why I teach in analogies. Let me give you my definition of people pleasing. You ready? Here's my definition of people pleasing. Number 1, or the definition: a person who prioritizes the needs, interests, and well-being of others above the safety, well-being, and needs of their own. I'll say it again. A people pleaser, my definition, is a person who prioritizes the needs, interests, and well-being of others above the safety, well-being, and needs of their own. I'm going to give it to you again. It's a long definition. You're writing this stuff in your journal. If my body language and voice gives you anxiety, log off. It's going to get bad. And let me just go a little bit further and say this. The stuff that I say online don't compare to the stuff that I think. Most of y'all can't even handle a polished version of me. You could not handle me as your coach. I would destroy you. Because most of you have never been challenged beyond the little bubble that you're in. And that's why you've been in therapy for 12 years and you've solved no problems. Oh my God. So take it how you want it. There is a reason why my work is successful. That definition of people pleasing again: a person who prioritizes the needs, interests, and well-being of others above the safety, well-being, and needs of their own. That's a people pleaser. And I'm not giving any exceptions to this. I'm talking about your wife, your husband, and kids. Oh my God, Doc's losing his mind. He's telling me that I can't prioritize the needs of my wife, my husband, my kids, my pastor, all these people. Yeah, I'm telling you that. I'm absolutely telling you that. You know why? Because most of you have a very unhealthy relationship with the word sacrifice. And after tonight, I am going to heal your relationship with sacrifice. You got your ticket, Miss Alomo? Thank you. I can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to hug your neck. I mean it. Many of you have an unhealthy relationship with sacrifice because what you've been taught sacrifice is not what sacrifice is. Let me just go ahead and cut to that real quick right now. Let me help y'all explain the sacrifice so that you can get a healthy version of what the word sacrifice is, so that you can understand that when it comes to people pleasing, there are no exceptions to the rule. Listen to me. Boundaries, y'all, belong to everybody. Boundaries belong to your mama. Boundaries belong to your daddy. Boundaries belong to your pastor. Boundaries belong to your rabbi. Here I am. I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting visibility restriction on TikTok already. I don't know what these people are talking about. These people are just nuts on TikTok, for real, literally, bona fide. But that's where the whiners be. I don't care if it's your rabbi. I don't care if it's your mama. I don't care if it's your kids. I don't care who it is. Everybody needs boundaries. And when you live a boundary-less life, you are bound to not understand what it means to sacrifice. Now, watch this. Let me go ahead and mess some of you believers up. You guys know I'm a believer. You know that. But you also know I have clients that are atheist, Muslim, agnostic, from all across the board in 48 countries now, almost 1,200. You know why all of these people from all of these faiths come to me? Because I take very complex topics and make them very easy to understand. And here's one of them: sacrifice. Watch this. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, it's better to give than to receive? Anybody? Has anybody else besides me heard the phrase, it's better to give than to receive? Y'all heard that, right? Yes, 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 yes. I've heard it. And then what people say is this. People say, especially believers, well, you should think that way because that's what the Bible says. The Bible doesn't say it's better to give than to receive. Doesn't say that. And I'm not going to give you guys a Bible study tonight, as much as many of you want me to. I'm not going to do it. I have clients from all across the walks of the board, and it's not in there. It doesn't say it's better to give than to receive. What it says is that it's more joyful to give than to receive. Why is that important? Because it is easy to be excited about giving when you got something to give. So many of you have a scarred perspective of sacrifice because you've been telling people that it's better to give than to receive, and it ain't better when you ain't got nothing to give. It ain't. When you broke and trying to give, ain't nothing better about that. When you can't pay your own bills because you're paying everybody else's bills, ain't nothing joyful about that. So it's not better to give than it is to receive. It is more blessed to give than to receive, which means if you can give more than you receive, that means you are blessed. Is this thing going? Because you have something to give. Which means the only way you can truly sacrifice is if you got something. So let me ask you something. If you always giving and 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 sacrificing and sacrificing and sacrificing, but you never have nothing yourself, how are you blessed? You ain't. You're not. You're not. That ain't even what the Bible says. It says it's more blessed to give than to receive, not better to give. And y'all, it's better to give than to receive. And so what does this have to do with people pleasing? It's got a lot. Because when you have that kind of mentality and it's false, then you will absolutely then turn around and think that sacrifice means just giving and giving and giving and never receiving. It doesn't mean that. It does not mean that. And your Bible does not say it. So tonight, I got to fix your relationship with sacrifice. Some of you are exhausted, not because you're bad people. You're exhausted because you don't have a healthy relationship with sacrifice. Oh, you need to put that in your notes. That was salad worthy. Some of y'all are tired, not because you're bad people. You're tired because you don't have a healthy relationship with sacrifice and you're not great with boundaries. And when you're not great with boundaries and you don't have a healthy relationship with sacrifice, you're going to be worn out. You know why? Because all you're going to be doing is giving and giving and giving and giving without any seed being received. He gives seed to the sower. Another verse y'all screw up. Well, interesting. If he gives seed to the sower, then that makes the sower blessed. So then the sower can bless and give to others because he or she has seed. So the only way a sower can sacrifice is with seed. And if you have an unhealthy view of sacrifice because all you do is give, but you don't set up boundaries so that you can have, you're not going to be a blessed sower. I can do this in my sleep. So you've got to fix your relationship with sacrifice. And I'm going to fix it tonight. Because 1 out of 3 of you on this call are people pleasers. And that's why you're tired. That's why you have a hard time sleeping at night. That's why you're so anxious during the day. We're going to talk about anxiousness too. Because approximately 65% of the world's population is anxious. That's 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 of you on this call have an anxious attachment style. That's what the data says. You know where that's coming from too? People pleasing, poor relationship with sacrifice. It's going to all make sense in a second. And meanwhile, you walk around talking about something. It's better to give than to receive. Ridiculously false. Y'all, people just don't read. They don't read. It's a blessing to give, more of a blessing to give than it is to receive. Why? Because you have to be blessed to give. And the only way you're going to be blessed is if you have a healthy relationship with sacrifice. If you have a healthy relationship with boundaries, expectations. So a people pleaser is a person who prioritizes the needs, interests, and well-beings of others above the safety, well-being, and needs of their own. Y'all got that definition? Now, let's talk about glaciers, icebergs, and this word called calving. This is going to get fun. I had an incredible revelation with the client about 2 weeks ago, and I said, you know what? I'm going to teach this. Had an incredible relationship with a client, or incredible revelation with the client, and I want to teach this. Get a blank sheet of paper. I ain't even think I was going to draw anything, but I think I'm going to try to draw this out. Not much of an artist, but it's going to make sense. Get a blank sheet of paper. Grab your Sharpie or something, or just a blank sheet of paper in your journal. It's fine. I had a revelation when I was talking to a client about people pleasing a couple of weeks ago. And I explained this to her in the context of an iceberg. Y'all got a Sharpie? Get one. I need blue because I need to draw some water. And I need light blue because I need to draw some ice. And I'm not the artist. My daughter is a better artist than my son. They draw pretty good. Get your piece of paper, hold it landscape. Let's do this. First of all, at the bottom of that page, Lord, I got stuff everywhere. Lord, my desk is just a mess. About a fourth of the way of the page, go ahead and make you some water. Like so. Okay? Just follow me. This is going to make sense in a second. Y'all supporting the show? Make you some water like so. Okay? Then get you a different color marker. I'm going to use a light blue. I hope it's a decent color blue. No, that's too close. I'm going to use green. We're going to play like water is green. How about that? Well, it is in Turks and Caicos. Where I wish I was right now. We're going to make the water green like we're in Turks and Caicos. And I want you, with this green marker, to draw a shape that looks like a flask. Y'all stay with me. Blue water, draw a green shape that looks like a flask. Okay? And through that flask, I want you to just draw some lines like this. Those lines are going to represent the veins that run through ice. So it looks like so. Okay? And if you want to be extra artistic, if you're in the artistic mood, hey, why not just put a little bit of sunshine up here in the corner? I feel like I'm in third grade with this diagram. Put a little bit of sunshine up there in the corner. Okay? So you got a little bit of sunshine, and you got some blue water. You got this green thing right here. Okay? If you don't have green, get a different color. Your water can be red. Okay? Just make it work. All right? Then I'm drawing this off the dome. Okay? Now, this mechanism at the bottom is called a glacier. Stay with me. Analogy prints at work. This little green mechanism here is called a glacier. A glacier is nothing more than ice that is formed that is connected to the ground of the ocean floor. Right? This can be 50 feet here, right? We don't know what this is. Depends on where you are, depends on where the glacier is, right? But this is ice that connects to the ground up bottom, the ground of the ocean floor, and it sprouts up so high that it sprouts above the ocean water. Y'all stay with me. Okay? Are y'all with me? Everybody there? Okay? Now, that's called a glacier. I want you on top of the blue water. I want you to just draw two squares. And I want you to put lines in them. Make them kind of like they're ice cubes. Like so. Okay? So this is, let me draw my blue water a little bit thicker here. I don't see a lot of comments, so I hope y'all are drawing, right? You know, we make it real simple here. Doc teaches in analogies, so you are without excuse. I teach on a third grade level, so everybody get it. So here's your water. Here's your glacier. Okay? Here's your glacier. And here are what I've drawn almost as ice cubes, but these ice cubes are really what we call icebergs. Y'all drawing this? Y'all should be supporting the show. Some of you may even know where I'm going. Some of you don't know where I'm going. But when you find this out, this is going to blow your mind of how this got to do with people pleasing. Just hold on. So, again, because I'm a teacher at heart, water in the blue, a glacier is a mountain of ice that forms from the ocean, the floor of the ocean, that sprouts above sea level or where the water flows. That's the glacier. These are icebergs. The icebergs come when, get a different color mark if you got it. I got a whole thing of Sharpies. Absolutely not. Well, have you guys been doing the books? Okay, that's fine, but set your alarms, 6 o'clock. Sorry, y'all. Get you a different color Sharpie, and I want you above the glacier. I want you to write this word. I'd never heard this word before, called calving. I was explaining this to a client, and I didn't know the technical term. I just knew enough about icebergs to know how they work. That icebergs are formed from glaciers. Glaciers are connected to icebergs. Let me put my diagram back up. Icebergs are formed from glaciers. Glaciers are connected to the ground floor of the ocean. It is a sheet of ice, a big mountain of ice that comes up, that goes through the water. And these icebergs are formed from that. But I didn't know how they were formed. I just assumed that when the sun shines, the ice melts. Common sense. When the ice melts, the ice that is above the water falls into the ocean that forms the icebergs. That process is called calving. Yes, calving, not Calvin, like McDonald's guy. Y'all remember the McDonald's commercials with Calvin? I just showed my age. So the ice does a mechanism called calving. And that in essence means that the ice above the water starts to melt. And when it does, it drops into the ocean and forms icebergs. Are y'all with me? So again, this is the water. A glacier is an ice structure that forms from the ground of the ocean up through where the water breaks. As it emerges above the water, it goes through a calving process where the ice that is above the water, perhaps through the sun shining and melting it, causes the glacier to split apart. And when the ice breaks, it forms icebergs. The sun has nothing to do with none of this. I need you to stay with me. And if you catch this revelation, you will never be a people pleaser again. The sun has nothing to do with the ice formation process. Nothing. But when the ice rears its head from its foundation, it becomes subject to an external force called the sun. When the ice rears its head from the foundation, it becomes subject to external factors called the sun. And the sun exposes the glacier and breaks it apart. I'm going to do the crickets because I don't think y'all even caught this yet. Watch this. The icebergs, that's your people pleasing. Listen to me. The icebergs, that's your people pleasing. Why? Because people pleasing is the manifestation of something that's happening at your core. Y'all don't support this show, my subscribers are going to eat this alive. And y'all won't see this again. The icebergs is your people pleasing. But the icebergs are the manifestation of things that happen outside of you. The sun, people getting on your nerves, people asking things, relationships you're in, situations you're connected to, etc., etc., etc. That then break you at your core and create the manifestation of behavior like people pleasing that really resonates at the foundation of who you are. Because if there is no glacier, there are no icebergs. I want you to put that in the chat in all capital letters. If there is no glacier, there are no icebergs. Can I help you? You don't stop people pleasing by working on stop people pleasing. You don't fix your attitude by working on your attitude. You don't fix your anxiousness by trying to calm down. That's the model of therapy that keeps you in therapy for 20 years. Ain't enough deep breathing in the world that's going to stop your anxiety if you don't get to the glacier that caused it. I don't know if this is making sense to anybody but me. If there is no glacier, there is no iceberg. The iceberg is a reflection of your people pleasing, but people pleasing is not the core problem. It is the manifestation of a deeper problem. Icebergs are the manifestation of a deeper issue. So if you're going to fix people pleasing, you got to fix it by fixing the glacier. Tip's right. One of my awesome moderators, she's right. Charlotte site coordinator, one of the best. It does that. People try to change the fruit instead of going to the root. And this is the easiest way I can explain this. Because a lot of you, 1 out of 3 of you are people pleasers. No, 1 out of 2 of you are people pleasers. And you're trying to fix the people pleasing by making yourself stop people pleasing. You're just trying to melt the iceberg. But when you got a whole sheet of ice that's connected to the floor of the ocean, you ain't gonna solve it that way. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Tammany. I appreciate you. Does this make sense? So we gonna deal with this. How are we gonna deal with this, Doc? And how are you gonna use this diagram to solve my people pleasing? Well, let's go ahead and knock out one thing real quick. This little thing over here in the corner called the sun is critical. That little thing in the corner called the sun is critical. You know why? Because some of you wouldn't even realize you were people pleasers until external things came into your environment that exposed your challenges. Some of you would die people pleasers and not even know it. If not for the sun or other external factors, relationships, family members, people on your job, your children, etc., etc., etc. Unless those things came up to expose your challenges. So we got to be thankful for the sun, because the sun does break off the glacier. It ain't enough to kill the glacier, but it does break it off, which means it reveals we got a deeper problem. This is why some of you should stop being mad at your exes and be thankful. Because some of you would have never found therapy unless they hurt your feelings. Some of you wouldn't be working on your anxiety right now if they would have never made you anxious. Some of you wouldn't be working to become the best version of yourself if they wouldn't have cheated on you. Be thankful for the sun that they shined on your life, because it broke up the glacier, and the manifestation of it created some icebergs that let you know you had a problem. Some of you don't even realize that your people pleasing is part of a larger problem. And many of you want me to go to the larger problem. I ain't going to that yet. I'm going to get there. I'll get to the larger problem in a second. But the reason why I'm not jumping right to the root is because sometimes the icebergs are hard to recognize. If you ever been out on a ship and you see a glacier at night, you don't know if it's a glacier or an iceberg. You don't know. Or you've been trying to pay more attention to the foundation or getting to the core of anything instead of really unwrapping this thing like an onion. Easy and unconventional ways to spot a people pleaser. Y'all ready? Number one, let me just give you some things that I've heard clients say. I'm just a nice person with a big heart. Oh my God. If you've ever uttered the words, I'm just a nice person with a big heart, in response to people asking you why you are handling a certain situation that seems to be dysfunctional the way you are, it is a good chance you're a people pleaser. You know why? Because you can be a nice person and have a big heart and still have a boundary. I don't know who taught you that because you're nice and got a big heart that you can't have boundaries too. I'm telling you, if you've made the phrase, when somebody's asked you why you are dealing with a toxic situation the way you are, and you say, I'm just a nice person, I got a big heart. Let me put my list on. I'm just a nice person and I got a big heart. People pleaser. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. Here's another one. I'm giving you 8. I got to hurry. It's 10, 15. Here's another phrase that I've heard a lot. Write this one down. I just don't want blank to be mad at me. So Doc is like, why are you not addressing this situation with such and such? And then I hear my client say, well, I just don't want blank to be mad at me. I don't want my mama to be mad at me. I don't want my daddy to be mad at me. I don't want my friends to be mad at me. I don't want my kids to be mad at me. You're a people pleaser. As if the anger of a dysfunctional person is your concern. Oh my God. Hey, put this in all caps. The anger or frustration of a dysfunctional person is not my concern. The anger or frustration of a dysfunctional person is not my concern. Y'all having a hard time typing it, ain't you? Because you're probably one of those people that say, I just don't do blank because I don't want blank to be mad at me. And blank being mad at you because you have boundaries is not your problem, it's blank's problem. Man, let me tell you something. This Saratoga is good. Y'all reach out to Saratoga. I need to sponsor them. Get the info, send it to me. I need to I need to be a spokesman for Saratoga. They done ripped my heart. Let me tell you. Whew. Let me give you a third phrase. Let me give you a third thing you can hear a people pleaser say. This is a big one right here. I already kind of explained this. I started off the talk with this. Some of you might have to rewind back to the beginning. If you've ever said the phrase to explain your dysfunction, and these are things you need to pay attention to when people are explaining this. When you're explaining these icebergs, these cubes on the water, which is dysfunction from the glacier, when you're explaining dysfunction and you say stuff like, I'm just a giver, that's number 3. I look at, why did you do that? I'm just a giver, Doc. I mean, that's just, I've always been a giver. No, you're a people pleaser. Oh my God. You're a people pleaser. And for a lot of you believers, you have taken they've taken the text out of context. I already explained that. I talked about being more blessed than to give and receive. I broke that down already. So if you're ever one of those people that say to explain your dysfunction, blame Doc, just blame it on me being a giver, Doc. I just have to blame it, chalk it up on me being a giver, because I'm just the giver, Doc. I'm just the giver. Listen, y'all, I hope this made sense. If it did, I want you to type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then I want you to remember you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.